Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're going to be going through the basic items that you would need to get started with card making. It's probably something I should have done at the beginning of my channel, but I feel like I wanted to jump right into Valentine's Day cards this year, so I decided to do this a bit after. So these are all the items that you're going to need to get started. Very basic, very basic. Next week I'll be showing you things that you can add on to. Like, this is like your basic needs. Next week will be your nice to haves and things that you should save up for. So we'll just go through these one at a time. So the first thing you're going to need is cardstock. Cardstock for making your card bases. You can buy pre-made card bases, but I always make my own. I just find it easier, and it's a lot cheaper as well. If you buy a whole pack of like 100 sheets of cardstock for like $20 at Michael's, you can get 200 card bases out of it. So then each card becomes like very cheap, and they're very easy to cut and score yourself. And then I also get the Recollections colored cardstock, which is 65-pound cardstock. They come in packs of 50, and you can get these packages where you get 5 shades of one color. Some of them come in packages where you would get like red, blue, green, yellow, and orange or something like that. So you could just like pick and choose which colors you would want, but I would recommend the lighter weight if you're going to be doing lots of layering for cards, but then get a heavier weight when you're doing your card bases. And then I would also use the same cardstock you use for your card bases as for your stamping and coloring, just because it'll be easier trying to match colors, I guess, because each cardstock company and type is different, and they're not all bright white. Some of them are a bit darker. This, I think, is the same one. It's not. Okay, so you can see like this cardstock is not as bright as white as this cardstock. This is, I believe it was the Nina cardstock I bought off Amazon. It says it's 110 pounds, but it's actually very lightweight because of the GSM in it, which is a whole nother thing like you need to know about for cards. So I would just go with a high poundage and a high GSM. Like this one says 65 pounds and 176 grams per square meter. This one here I think was 110 pounds and only 190 something GSM, but then this Hammer Mill cardstock is 110 pounds, and it's I think in the 200s for the GSM, so it makes it a thicker weight cardstock, and it's better for your card bases. So you're gonna have to like take into consideration both numbers when you're ordering 110-pound cardstock, especially for the layering. I don't think it's important. Just go for the 65-pound. Some people do 80. I think it's too heavy. And then this is gonna be specifically for getting started with stamping cards. So you're gonna want to have a very versatile set. Let's say you just really need to start with one set. You don't need to have like tons of them. I know I went out and bought a bunch of them when I started, but it's not necessary. You can start with just the one. And this very special birthday from MFT is the most used stamp set I have. It's the most versatile in my opinion, just because of like this bear image in the gift box. It can be used for baby cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards, graduation cards, congratulation cards, like almost any occasion you can use this for. Same with the one with the balloon. I would say is also good for like baby cards, birthday cards, maybe not so Christmas cards, but so this image specifically is my most used stamp. And it really depends on what kind of stamp you want to use. Like these are considered critter stamps. Critter stamps are anything that's like animals related, and there are ones where there's like people in them, but I'm more of a critter person, so I like to get to these. So if these are still available on MFT's website, I'll be sure to link it. And then next you're going to need some ink to stamp with. I use Lawn Fawn Black Licorice ink for all of my stamping. For the most part, I do have VersaFine Nocturne Clair ink as well, but I use that for when I'm embossing and doing any kind of watercolor this dye ink is not good for watercoloring. So if you are into watercoloring, you're gonna want to get a pigment ink. This ink is great for Copic coloring, and it's good for pencil crayons and everything else, but it's just like not water-based friendly materials. I have both the small ink cube and the regular pad for this, as well as a inker, because this is the one that I use the most. Okay, and then you're gonna need some coloring supplies. These are alcohol-based markers. This is a Copic Chow. This is a Prismacolor Premier marker, and then this is just Bianyo. I don't know, I bought these ones on Amazon fairly cheaply. They work really great. They're very juicy. They're very juicy markers. And like some of these, like this one I've probably had for like, these two actually I've probably had for like a decade. They'll last a long time depending on how much you use them. I don't tend to use pinks a lot. These are just, I had 3 brands of the pinks for sure, so this is just the color that I grabbed. But you also, like, these are fairly expensive. Like these run, the last time I bought a Copic marker was a long time ago, but about like $6 to $8 Canadian for these. Prismacolors don't sell open stock ones anymore. I think they just sell the packages. So these are not good if you want a refill for one. And then same with these ones are the one I bought off Amazon, and they're also, I believe, not open stock. Like you can't just buy this pink if you run out of it, so you'd have to buy a whole nother set. And I bought a set of 72. So these are kind of just, you throw them out when you're done. Copic markers you can get refills for, which is probably the only thing that's good with these for me, just because like the individual markers themselves are super expensive. So I would rather go with something cheaper. But you don't have to have Copic markers or any alcohol markers. You can also use like Crayola pencil crayons. I have Prismacolors as well, which I also use, but you don't have to go that expensive when you're first starting with your card making. Like you can go cheap. You just get a full set of like 60 Crayolas for fairly cheap. I haven't bought them in a long time either because I have a lot of pencil crayons. I have this whole box full. These are just the part of the skin color set they come out with a few years ago, so I just keep the different tones in like packages. It just has like medium, light, and dark colors of like more reds, more peachy and deeper browns, and then this one's like is a more yellow tone. So those are why I keep those together. And then lastly, you're gonna need glue or some kind of adhesive. I am obsessed with liquid glue right now. I used to just use tape runners and double-sided tape all the time, but right now I'm using Barely Art Precision Glue. I bought the kit. It's a little expensive for the kit. I think it was $38 Canadian, but you get the refill, the regular tube, and then a few tips for it. But I put them into these smaller containers that I bought off Amazon, and I just find it's easier to refill these and just keep something smaller on hand for doing quick gluing. Future Liz here. I forgot to mention that you're going to need a ruler and a knife to cut your cardstock with also. If you have a trimmer already, that's great, but you don't really need anything expensive. You can go to the dollar store and get these tools, no problem. You're also going to need an acrylic block to hold your stamps when you're stamping. I'm actually just going to show you like a quick example of me using these basic tools. I'm going to do a single layer card, and I'm just going to stamp the image directly onto the card front and color the images with my Crayola and Laurentian pencil crayons. The Laurentian ones were actually discontinued like years ago, but I still have some of them left, so I still use those. And I'm just going to be doing some very basic coloring, 2 shades per section. So I'm going to be using a dark yellow and a light yellow, a dark blue and a light blue, etc. And then I will ground the image using a gray circle in the background. So I was just going to keep this very, very basic for today and just show you like what little tools you need just to get started in card making. a quick and simple card for today that I used using like literally the bare necessities that you need for card making. I didn't even use the adhesive or the other cardstock, so you could really even get away with just the white cardstock, the stamp, and the ink, and the coloring supplies, just to get started. So for next week, I'm going to be showing you extra items that you could add to your cards, help to embellish them, other tools that might be helpful to new stampers, and then also some things that I would suggest that you save for that are a little bit more on the pricey side, but have really, in my opinion, helped me with my stamping and card making a lot. So yeah, we'll go through that next week, and thanks again for joining me for today. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, suggest anything you would like to see in the future, that would be great. I'd love to hear from you. So thanks, and I'll see you later. Bye!